Radiant team ban.
Welcome back, folks, to the Netolic Raid Call Pro League East Division Winners Bracket Final. MUFC with DM2 having a one-game advantage as they just won our previous matchup. DM2 in the first game drafting up some absolutely fantastic lineup. They take the late Io. Io, not a hero that we typically see in the Chinese Southeast Asian metagame, but the Southeast Asians do know to play it sometimes, and this was an excellent case. MUFC had no strong response. They were going for much more of a sort of wombo combo teamfight lineup, and they didn't find the teamfights, they didn't find the wombo combo, and April Fool's Day, Despicable Me 2, they were able to pick them apart, especially with some absolutely fantastic hunting and killing from ChibiX33, their star player in the mid. And so this team, composed of some members of Flash Esports. Ken was a ringer for MUFC actually for a while, back in I think 2012 or even 2011. Just a sort of a ragtag team of excellent Singaporean players that really have come together as a very, very strong, complete outfit. I mean, beating VG in the previous round, now one game away from being the winners bracket finalists for this tournament. Excellent play coming out from them. You are, of course, watching the Netolic TV stream, the official English stream for this tournament, Netolic TV. Your casters today are Vikramond and El Presidente. El Presidente, how you doing?
I am doing quite well.
So what do you think MUFC need to do to take this one?
Well, there's one. They got Lone Druid. And I think that's a fantastic hero for MUFC to pick up. I think they will really appreciate that hero. That said, he is pretty counterable. We might see something like a surprise Razor pick that we saw last week or Wednesday, but more likely maybe Panda. But I think for MUFC, they really gotta pressure Despicable Me too. What they usually do, DM2, AFD, whatever their team name happens at the time, is like to play super aggressive. So when you can pressure them and force them onto the defensive, they tend to play a little bit worse.
Absolutely. I think that MUFC, they have a solid beginning, but it's just a matter of drafting the right lineup, something that actually works for them, and being wary of possible surprises coming out of DM2, of course. So I think that MUFC just weren't really ready for that CK-IO in the first game, even though, I mean, DM2 did draft that up against VG, so it was very possible that it would come out, and as the 4th and 5th pick, it was very consequential. The Magnus will flip sides this time, so in the last game we did have the Magnus up on MUFC as part of their combo lineup, but this time the Magnus is secured most likely, I guess, for ChibiX33, and I haven't seen that much Magnus play from him, but if it's anything as strong as what we've seen from Queen of Pain on Nyx Assassin, then could be something pretty scary indeed. And I do want to quickly point out our sponsor for this tournament, Raid Call. They are sponsoring basically everything, I think. The prize pools from them and the giveaways. So Raid Call Channel 2013, just like the year. We'll have giveaways all throughout the tournament. We've had a couple giveaways already today of gaming gear and some more Dota items, I think. So that's something you can check out if you so desire. Or you can just stick to hanging out with us in the twitch.tv stream chat. So, MUFC, they add on the Queen of Pain, and the Rubik comes out as well. So that gives them a support, a carry, possible Lone Druid, obviously, also possibly a solo lane option. And finally, the Queen of Pain to give them a strong mid presence. DM2, meanwhile, going with the Lina. So a high damage tri-lane here with the Shadow Demon Lina. And a lot of things that they can combo with this effectively.
I'm still surprised that there's no one picking up the Keeper of the Light.
Well,
maybe MUFC could go for it as a 4th pick if it gets miraculously through this banning phase, though.
Right. So, the thing about Keeper of the Light is, I feel that he's no longer like an insta-lock first, depending on what your overall approach is. It's like, if you have a particular goal in mind for your lineup, there's certain goals that Keeper of the Light doesn't
10
really
seconds
fall that well
remaining.
into. Like, for instance, if you're going for sort of very, very much roaming
5
ganks.
seconds remaining.
Keeper of the Light, a very bad roaming ganker, right? Like, he's much more of a I win the tri-lane that I'm in,
Reserve time.
regardless of what that tri-lane composition is, and then I promote split pushing and turtling later on. But that's not every lineup. I do feel like with just a couple of changes, Keeper of the Light has become a sometimes food.
I do like how AFD are pretty much decided we are not dealing with this.
With
And
Ling's Visage, yeah. We even saw
immediate-
them, they were commenting on it in all chat in the first game.
Yeah, but that's like a straight up respect ban.
Sure.
And it's a good one too. Like that is a tough hero to lane against, just because in tri-lane versus tri-lane situations, it's very hard to escape the Visage or Visage, however you decide to pronounce it, because he hits so hard with that Soul Assumption.
Definitely. I think Visage is a very, very,
10
very strong
seconds
tri-lane winner,
remaining.
because just the Soul Assumption, once it gets a few levels in it, can just really
5
bully
seconds.
almost anybody out of the lane. And we saw MUFC win 2 3 vs 3 lane engagements very convincingly against Orange, anchored by the Visage each time. So DM2 just be like, we'd rather not have that and have to deal with that. So I like that choice from them. I think it's very, very smart. And so Anti-Mage and Nature's Prophet, the bans from MUFC. What do you think their logic is here?
Radiant team banned.
They're looking at taking out offlaners and hard carriers for Despicable Me too. Anti-Mage definitely one of the stronger heroes to combo with the Shadow Demon. You got to be playing until 5 a.m. Oh, and I say that it's almost 6 years, so
We're playing well past 5 a.m. here, Alprez.
oh, we are. And the best part is, if he gets an illusion rune, we might be playing till 7.
Yes.
And
yes,
and I
very
say
good.
that because if Invasion somehow managed to win this match, we will
MUFC
probably
win.
be recasting till 7. So this is gonna be exciting.
That's all right.
Yeah,
More
it's go,
Dota's
it's gonna
always
be
good, in my opinion.
more Dota. The more Dota I get, the more awake I'll eventually be.
That's good.
It's just slow starts. They
Sure.
happen every day. But anyways, fantastic bans coming out of MUFC, really
10
banning out
seconds
strong
remaining.
carries, like the Gyrocopter, like the Anti-Mage. I'm honestly surprised that they didn't
5
go
seconds remaining.
for, like, I don't know, maybe a Faceless Void instead of the Nature's Prophet ban. But
Reserved
all of these bans are still very strong. Although Gyrocopter does have weaknesses in solo core lineups.
Radiant team
Right. So Weaver actually taken out by DM2 here, so
Juggernaut.
yes. I think this is almost certainly going to be the Jug. Yes, good call. Nice. Getting in there under the wire. This is a
Yeah.
very, very common combo. This is why we see Juggernaut banned out so often in the second phase. Sometimes even without the Lone Druid accompaniment, but in this case, definitely with that Lone Druid. This is a combo that's gained more and more popularity. Really, it was still early days when LGD picked in that famous turtling game against IG, but since then, it's really become almost ubiquitous. Every team sort of has to be
10
aware of it.
seconds remaining.
It's starting to make its way over into the Western scene as well, but certainly in the Asian
5
scene,
seconds
if
remaining.
Juggernaut is not banned second phase and you have a Lone Druid, you almost always end up picking that Jug to go along with it. And of course, the Healing Ward providing that pushing capacity, good dual core damage, both of these heroes doing just a lot of damage overall, and this gives MUFC an extremely solid foundation and a good mix of damage. They bring a lot of magic from the Queen of Pain, they bring a lot of physical damage, both from Juggernaut and Lone Druid, and DM2 are going to have to scramble to have a response for this. The one thing that they do have is, depending on the carry, a very strong tri-lane. So Shadow Demon Lina, very, very good combo. We'll have to see what MUFC actually pick for their final support in addition to this Rubik. But that could make a big difference. Leshrac is actually still in the pool, so Rubik, Leshrac, Juggernaut, I feel like, can definitely stand up to Shadow Demon, Lina, whatever.
One of the big things to consider, though, is that if you're not going on the Shadow Demon, he's going to get the Disruption off, and that does kind of at least have the damage coming out of the Blade Fury.
Sure.
So it's possible that they won't be able to get the
10
kill with just a
seconds
Disruption.
Luna.
It's there we go. This is actually really dangerous for MUFC, because the illusions from Disruption do get the Lunar Blessing aura, and that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that is a lot of
Yep,
damage.
there's
I actually think
Leshrac.
this is good because, yeah, there's the Lesh. Not a surprise that they picked up Leshrac at all. So we each get one very easy call this game. You got the
we get-
Juggernaut, I got the Leshrac.
we get
Leshrac,
1 point each.
Yeah. No problem at all for Lesh. He is going to go Diabolic Edict secondary, I believe, not Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm is an option, but in this case, with the Juggernaut Lone Druid, you have such excellent pushing capacity if you add on the Leshrac to it,
10
that towers will
seconds
simply
remaining.
melt. And DM2, they've got okay counter push.
5
Lena has
seconds
a lot of
remaining.
magic damage she can throw out. Luna, obviously, once she gets Moonglaive, which takes a little while because it's usually only taken after the Lunar Blessing and Lucent Beam
5
do come
Templar
out.
Assassin.
And Magnus has decent anti-push as well. But TA, so kicking it up a notch with this mid pick. Chibi X will be looking to go up in the middle with the TA. The Magnus will be consigned to the solo lane. And I wonder if this means that DM2 will be going for a sort of 3v3 approach.
Probably. I would put a 3v3 with
Prepare
Luna,
for battle.
Lena, and Shadow Demon. I say that, but I definitely know that Invasion are going to be looking. Invasion and
MUFC.
MUFC are going to be looking to be playing an offensive lane here. Like that. This whole team comp screams offensive,
Sure, definitely.
right?
All right.
Especially with the Queen of Pain.
Yep.
I don't know.
So let's introduce the teams. Who did you get last time? You got MUFC.
I got MUFC
All right,
last
I'll
time,
get MUFC
so.
this time. So, Winter in the tri-lane, along with Princess Ari on the Juggernaut. This is a stand-in. And Ling playing up on that Leshrac. Rubik, Leshrac, Juggernaut. Something to be feared, definitely. Uh-oh, we might have a level 1 engagement. So quick to say that Too Fucking Good is actually going up on the Queen of Pain, interestingly enough. And YY up on that Lone Druid. So a very strong lineup from MLC. Not joking around. Want to actually get this win. Even want to clash at level 1. So statement of intent from them here. And actually, DM2 kind of scattering to the 5 wins. Wanting to avoid this fight if they can afford to.
On DM2, we're seeing that Ken will be playing that hard carry role again on Luna. Shaolin Kid / what's the other alias that he uses?
Lodraki.
Lodrak. On the Lena. KS will be on Shadow Demon. In solo mid, we're seeing Chibi playing on that TA with probably my favorite set for her. And Rave Flu on the Magnus and the offlane. I'm gonna be honest, I really like this set for TA.
It's the polycount set, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the polycount set.
It's good.
This is my second favorite set, right after the Panda Bear skin. But
It's a skin of one.
it's
The
the only
Lone
skin
Druid
in the
items
game.
in the Panda set I don't think are that impressive. They're fine.
No, but it's about that panda,
Sure,
which
sure.
is cheating. Pay to win versus entangles
Pay to
every
win,
time.
Valve, please. At any rate, so
Riot,
MUFC,
please nerf.
they really did want that level 1 fight. I mean, Juggernaut is an absolutely excellent level 1 clasher, simply because Blade Fury does so much damage if you actually land the entirety of it on somebody.
I believe it's like second place for most damage at level 1 ability.
Right.
Might be third behind Rocket Barrage,
Right.
but definitely behind. Sorry, might be third behind Battery Assault, because as we found out, Battery Assault is a ludicrous amount of damage.
Yeah, but it's very, very difficult at level 1 to guarantee that the entirety of your battery assault lands. Like, it's almost impossible to guarantee that.
Absolutely, but that is the case. I do know for a fact that it's behind Rocket Barrage, but that's because Rocket Barrage is like borderline broken at early levels.
Well, it is a very, very strong ability, definitely. So, we do have Winter going to be reconnecting. So, while we wait for him, Elprez, who takes game 2?
Who takes game 2? I like MUFC's draft better. I'm going to be quite honest. I think it's a lot stronger of a draft. That said, one of the things to keep in mind is that if it does, and this lineup does suit DM2 phenomenally, this kind of draft is very much in their alley for how they like to play.
Sure.
Man.
I like the TA pivot. I liked consigning the Magnus to the solo lane and picking up this Templar Assassin. I like for aggressive mid players like Chibi to play aggressive mid heroes. And so Magnus, there's just that little bit of tension where any very strong mid player, they can play the Magnus and they can do it very competently, but it just doesn't quite fit what they sort of want to do. It puts you in a different position where it's like, oh, I'm the team fight initiator, but I don't really have that much killing power, except in maybe like 1v1 situations. So
Yeah,
for Chibi to get this TA is actually much more aligned with that.
I absolutely agree. Chibi does love playing solo mid aggressive heroes. But one of the big things I feel is if this turns into a base race, I have no idea who's going to win. Just because Luna with the Moonglaves does so much base damage, but then you're also dealing with the Barrel to Demolish. So
I would give it to MUFC in a base race easily. The Bear is...
I don't know.
Luna's tower damage is actually not that great. The only good thing about Luna is that once she high grounds, like once she kills tier 3, obviously she can kill both Raxes at the same time. And the only other place it matters is that you can hit both tier 4 towers at the same time. That's significant, but I would say MUFC between Leshrac and the Bear are going to be tearing through buildings at a much more accelerated rate.
But there are going to be 5 of those Lunas doing this, because you're going to get the Shadow Demon Disruption as well as the Mantis missions.
I get what you're saying. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
It's going to be empowered as well.
Sure, but in particular, at least for like the tier 1 and tier 2 pushes, like if the base race starts with tier 2s, MUFC will have a much easier time just clearing out those early towers.
Ooh, DD.
DD4, actually Ling will take it on the Leshrac, and they'll just head back up here for this 3 vs 3 combat. So, as we mentioned, Rubik, Leshrac, Juggernaut. I have to just say, I agree with you. MUFC, I would give this to them based on lineup, but we've seen some amazing play coming out from DM2. I do think that banning the Nature's Prophet rather than Juggernaut was maybe a tactical error, but still a good lineup coming out from DM2, still a lot of potential. They're going to maybe try to First Blood TFG, and we'll have to see how carefully this could play plays. He hasn't actually leveled anything yet, so he still has the option of picking up his Blink to be very defensive. Oh, he takes Shadow Strike, and here they come. KS, will they be able to chase him down, though? No. The slow movement speed. Shadow Demon and Lina, of course, 295 base, and TFG going to walk the exact right way. He didn't have Blink, so I was worried for him, but instead it ends up working out just fine.
That was like, I was so concerned the second I saw that. And, oh, actually really funny. Winter decided to pull DM's Creep Wave, actually, so that they could steal the XP and do some tower damage all at the same time.
So yeah, already starting with a little bit of damage on that tower, and a good pull, honestly. It gives them some... They're going to get this jungle camp as well as clear out the entire creep wave, and this is going to be a little extra XP for them. You do see Winter and Ling moving towards their level 2, which is not quite where KS and Lodraki are at quite yet.
Yeah, they're just contesting all these pools, and that's exactly what you have to do on an offensive, aggressive tri-lane like this.
Yes.
And they do have the lineup for it. The problem is if DM2 want to contest back, they gotta have the kill potential, and against Ari's Blade Fury, Fade Bolt, Telekinesis, and Split Earth, this is actually Lightning Storm Fade Ling as well.
Yeah, so
At
he
least
hasn't
so
gone
far.
for that. This is a little more damage, especially in the sort of pitched combat that they may end up having on top of the creep waves. This will be, oh, nice Split Earth actually, but there's the disruption. They might land this, the Light Strike Array comes out, Ling taking a lot of damage, but the Blade Fury response is no joke either. The First Blood will go to DM2, but the question is, will Ken survive? Yes, he walks away with 20 health. Ari warded off. He actually does get the Soul Catcher on him as well, and oh man, First Blood for DM2 and Luna survives? I'm honestly surprised.
That was, like, inopportune as hell because Winter was off de-warding while that was happening, and that was just inconvenient for them. Had Winter been there, there was no way that Ari would have, that Ken would have lived. Ling still would have died. Oh, they're going back.
Ken in a lot of trouble here. The Battle Fury will come through, most likely a kill.
Yeah, there's actually the Lightning Storm.
Yeah, this won't stop anything. The pause will not stop the death of this Luna. And that's a very important kill for MUFC. They may have given up First Blood, but their carry survived and DM2's carry did not. So, good kill. A very important kill, in fact. This will set Ari substantially ahead of... Oh, well, poor Ken. It will set him substantially ahead of where Ken is. Ken, of course, only 6 last hits on this Luna to 15 for Juggernaut. So, falling a little behind, frankly. They want to respond, and unfortunately, Lina's Shadow Demon just too slow to actually catch up. Meanwhile, in the middle, at the beginning, we actually saw ChibiX was pretty ahead, but this has changed. I mean, he's taking a pretty decent amount of damage, and there's a Sentry Ward here, so if he attempts to meld dodge those Shadow Strikes, it's not going to happen. You can see he tried to do it right there, and unfortunately the Sentry Ward just makes it so he has to cop the Shadow Strike, copping the damage over time, and getting a bit of auto attacks as well. Not to mention his Refraction is not going to survive long either. TFG just managing this lane so well, really putting a lot of harassment pressure on Chibi.
Absolutely. One of the big problems, again, for Chibi in this lane is that, oh, he's betting. He is gambling on this top rune. No such luck.
Doesn't come. And TFG, because they have a ward up here, he actually knows where the rune will be. They're going to have to steal it, and they do. Raveplu picks it up. Smart. He has a bottle as well, of course. They were bottle crowing, and so he will actually score that.
Yeah, so definitely still edge given out to TFG, I think, in this mid lane, just because Chibi's got to be really careful. Because of the Shadow Strike just melting away all of those instances of refraction.
Absolutely.
The second he gets low enough, the second Chibi gets low enough, he is dead. It's going to be a scream, couple of right clicks, because Shadow Strike damage is nothing to scoff at. It's a lot of damage.
It is, absolutely. Ooh, actually,
It's like
I missed... oh no, it's Lucent Beam just being used to last hit. So, this tri-lane, they're facing a lot of pressure from the aggressive, but MUFC are no longer dominating this tri-lane quite as heavily as they did early on. I mean, they were just able to pull creeps out of the jungle, just completely mess up DM2's pulls and stacks and everything. But now it's a little bit more even. We actually do see Ken improving to 15 last hits here. So doing a little better on this Luna. He's just going to have to be careful that he doesn't die again, because there's the lift. This is going to be chained up with a Split Earth. Good defensive disruption. It's going to waste some of the time of this Blade Fury. A nice Light Strike array as well. That's a double stun. I don't think Winter's going to die here. Might from this last auto attack. 5 HP. Oh man. Second Light Strike array comes out just defensively. Ling! He will get brought down by the Lucent Beam. So Ken turns around. They get the kill. Actually, they have to flee here. MUFC, the healing ward does drop, and Juggernaut's doing fine. He actually has Arcane Boots just to sustain them in this lane. When do you see a Juggernaut with Arcane Boots? Wow.
When you're Havos, the international.
Right. Right. Oh, nice blind splitter, and the Blade Fury will come out. I don't think Ken will survive, even with the disruption. He's still alive. He has 6 health. They might stop this. The last auto attack comes out. Ari taking a lot of damage. He will get picked off with the Shadow Poison damage and the Lina hit. And that's a carry for carry trade. And this top lane is really just becoming a battleground.
I'm still giving the edge to DM2 on the long run, just because they did manage to get a 3 gold kill on Ling. I feel like, for MUFC, they wanted to get that kill so bad, they overextended. They stood around too long in this area. And honestly, both sides have been phenomenal, but landing their delayed stuns. Leshrac, I don't think, has missed a single Split Earth, and likewise, I don't think Shaolin Kid has missed a single Light Strike array.
Yeah, we've seen some great blind Split Earths and some defensive Light Strikes that have really kept both MUFC and DM2 from doing worse than they are. But this top lane, I mean, it is quite a battleground. If we look overall, the one thing is that he does have his free lane down here, basically. I mean, Magnus not able to contest this all that heavily. And now that YY has his ult, he's really able to play quite defensively and just not even worry about RP, because he has too much health for YY who's on the Magnus, sorry. For Rave Blue to actually chew through in one set. So, a little bit of tension in the middle here. Both teams actually rotating in their supports. They want to tip the scales here between Chibi and TFG. TFG currently level 7. Chibi not too far behind, about a little less than half a level behind. So, DM2 overall, I think, are suffering a little bit as far as, XP goes. They're about 750 XP behind, about 1k gold. So not very substantial differences yet, but this could change. The lift will come out. No, it won't, actually. Chibi escaping to the high ground. Disruption getting thrown out. They don't have a follow-up for it. Light Strike, not good. There's the lift on Chibi. The Split Earth comes out. Refraction still actually living through this. The Shadow Strike came late. And so a lot of mana wasted on both sides with really not much to show for it. Meanwhile, oh man, while I was watching mid, the rotation from Rave Blue, he decides not to try to pressure the Lone Druid with this. Very, very smart. He actually gets the kill on Juggernaut on RA top, and that's very substantial. That'll move Ken to his Tranquil Boots, it looks like, and after that, he actually interestingly went the Basilisk, so we're going to be seeing probably the Ring of Aquila as well, the sort of classic Luna, little bit of everything build.
On a big plus note, though, for MUFC, they will be getting this bottom tower with that rotation from Rave Blue. And it totally went over my head, and we've cast a lot of AFD. I totally just remembered where Rave Blue's name comes from.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Like, it's a manga called Rave, and there's a character called Blue. I
would never have gotten that.
I know, right? It just came to me right now. It's like, where have I seen that before?
I have not seen that before. But that's why I keep you around. Thank you.
Yes, for random trivia knowledge and bullshit builds, basically.
So just see the armlet almost complete on that Spirit Bear. Just needs the recipe, about 500 more gold. And honestly, YY, the fact that he's got this free lane is no joke. He's going to be a pushing force. He's level 8, that critical ability to have Battle Cry and Demolish on the Bear, and soon the 4th rank of Synergy as well. When he hits around level 10, this Lone Druid's going to be able to push so effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh, Skype DC. But yeah, absolutely. And it's one of the important things to
One
consider.
gold for you.
Every time you leave a lone druid alone, he's gonna get a tower. He does so much damage to towers, it's absolutely absurd. With the armlet, he actually I think hits towers for like 110 damage a hit with the bear. And that basically means like 16 hits later, your tower is gone.
We do have Ari moving towards drums as well. I think this is also smart. MUFC, they're getting that stack of arcane boots, so Winter, of course, is not close. He's this hard number 5 roll. But Ling's got his arcanes, and so does Ari, so this is a lot of damage that they're capable of putting out. This Leshrac, with 2 arcane boots worth of extra mana, can Lightning Storm quite a bit more. You see, he's already picked up rank 3 of that, so effective to sort of harass, and so Ken is going to be copying lots of harassment damage. Still hasn't actually finished the Tranquil Boots, interestingly enough. Just harassing Ari actually quite a bit. That was a lot of damage that went down on his head just now. Ari with the sort of classic new school Juggernaut build, the 3 in Blade Fury, 2 in Healing Ward, 1 in Omni Slash, going to max out that both the Healing Ward pretty quickly as well as the Blade Fury. It's interesting how much time it took for everybody to sort of agree that Healing Ward was amazing, but that's definitely where everyone's at now. This Healing Ward, very, very strong ability, both for pushing and frankly for teamfights if you can keep it alive and in the back.
Yeah, it says the Healing Ward is phenomenal because it is a percentage-based heal. It scales ridiculously strong to late game. Personally, I'm not a fan of Witch Doctor.
Just trying to harass a little bit, but they have no way of stopping this kill. They didn't have Fortify. Maybe with a Fortify, something. There's the Skewer, actually, 2 for the RP. Chibi trying to pile damage on here. Winter actually stood up with Light Strike Ray. Ari responding. Defensive Disruption will get thrown out. It looks like Shaolin Kid's going to go down, but Ari actually the first to die in response to the bear. Chibi gets picked off. TFG, there's the Eclipse from Ken, but I don't know who this is going to get. In fact, Ken has to run before YY just picks him off here. He might get the call on Winter. Yes, he does not get the high ground miss, but 3 for 2, and I actually don't think this was a good trade for DM2 at all. TFG participates in a couple of kills. YY just beating down with this bear, and MUFC, I think they feel good about that exchange.
3 for 2 in a tower, I'd feel good about that trade.
Yeah.
That was phenomenal, honestly. Yeah, Ari did go down, but fact is, Ari isn't the one role in MUFC. Yes, he was their tri-lane farmer, but the one role is honestly going to be FC on this lone druid at this point.
Yeah.
And actually, I think Armwood is en route to FC at the moment. So with another Gloves of Haste,
right.
So yeah, that's 2 Gloves of Haste Armwood build.
Yeah,
so.
that's pretty typical. They make the Gloves of Haste for the... Sometimes we even see the Maelstrom Gloves of Haste before the Armlet. Like, you see 2 gloves, just to give that early attack speed boost, and then you make the Armlet, and then you make the Maelstrom. In this case, we do see the full Armlet first, and then the Gloves of Haste, but this is still very, very typical of the modern Lone Druid builds.
I feel like this is exactly what we're talking about, though. DM2 like playing offensively, and basically Chibi's been forced into almost a farming role with this TA, and that's definitely not... It feels like that's not what he wants to be doing, but he was just so effectively controlled in lane by Queen of Pain, by TFG. He just could not leave. He could never afford to leave.
MUFC, they're going to resume the push. We do see the Healing Ward come down. They do not have Lone Druid here. And we have to say that the Leshrac, of course, will not be pushing faster with that Edict just yet. But still, just the Healing Ward enough gives them so much sustainability here that they can whack away at this tower. I don't actually think DM2, they do Fortify, but they're not going to get over here in time, I don't think. We do see KS and Shaolin Kid both smoked up, but no. Fortify ends up, I won't say wasted, but it doesn't end up doing very much at all. Juggernaut moving towards drums, and TFG moving towards his Orchid.
I would have said wasted because I personally still subscribe to the idea that if you can't defend, don't fort. All you're doing is then delaying them by like 5-10 seconds, and like that's a whoop-de-doo type deal. But all things considered, like it could have been worse for them. They could have gone in and died.
Ooh,
that would have been worse.
Their MUFC are smoked up. Ari's still only level 6 on this Juggernaut, by the way, which is very, very low for the core role he's taking on this team. But he has been doing a lot of roaming and trying to kill. Level 6 hit on KS as well, so he actually... That's funny. Chibi popping the TA ward on high ground made MUFC think that he saw their smoke, which he actually didn't, but I think he knew something was going on.
That's just like amusing.
Oh, sorry, level 6 is on Shaolin Kid on KS. So the Light Striker actually does not hit. He pops it a little bit early. They won't lock down Ari here on this Juggernaut, but this tier 2 tower is dropping so quickly. Meanwhile, Eclipse in the back, they might get the pick off on Winter. Ken is actually, oh no, he's entangled. The pickoff is there. The Bear is doing so much damage. TFG is doing so much damage. The 3 RP, but unfortunately, it's already too late. Omni Slash comes through. Rave Blue taking a lot of damage. FC is with him, and another kill. Winter for everybody. It looks like Chibi might drop. He finally picks up Leshrac, but TFG still on the field. Most of his Orchid actually constructed with that, and oh man, what a disastrous fight for DM2. The Eclipse coming out too early, the RP coming out too late. They're being plagued by the same sort of timing issues that faced MUFC in the previous game, and now they're facing 2 and 3 level deficits to the 2 core heroes of MUFC.
Our tournament's seeing the end of the Wombo combo as we know it. Yeah, no, it just feels like what ended up happening was that FC YY got so much farm in the early game that he just like pretty much ignored all the damage flying around him and just focused on the tower.
And then he focused on Ken, and he got 2 entangles on him.
Oh yeah, also first hit entangle hacks, but he got like straight up first hit on Ken, and that basically prevented Ken from doing anything because he just doesn't have the attack range. Like if we look at the M2's lineup, they have 2 heroes with notoriously small attack ranges, and this bottom tower is going to be melting.
Absolutely. They're going to respond to this Bear any way they can. The Dragon Slave gets thrown out. They're going to pull the Bear back, at least for now. It's only at 600 HP, makes perfect sense. Where, I wonder, is the mechanism? Nowhere in sight for either team. Well, okay, no mechanism. They're fighting more of a sort of pure honorable combat. We don't need heals, we don't want heals, we'll just wail away at each other with maximum damage. We do see Orchid finished on TFG.
It's totally not true because MUFC have the most broken heal in the game with that healing ward.
That's true, that's true.
It might be killable, but people tend to ignore it because they don't really see it.
Well, we're going to see DM2 try to pick it off and fight.
They always try. It sort of reminds me of, and I totally didn't know this, that you can decrypt your nether ward as Pokemon.
Yes.
Did not know that.
Tombstone as well?
Yes, Tombstone I knew about because you can soul rip the Tombstone, but
right.
Did not know you could decrypt your nether ward, and that is actually really good because they can't use magic on it.
Right. No Pugna in this game, of course, but that is true.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure exactly how, if ever, Pugna's going to see any mid-play ever again.
Well, we'll see.
Just because he's a fast little man with like 315 base movement speed, but he's also one of the squishiest heroes in the game. Still actually
We do see a gank attempt on TFG. Will they catch him out? No, and that's the second gank attempt from DM2 with these 3 cores of the Ken, KS, and Shaolin Kid on the Lina. And they haven't gotten it a single time. They tried to get Juggernaut, he made it away, even with Arcane Boots. They tried to get TFG, he blinks away. And so, bad news for DM2 when they can't find the ganks that they so critically desire. Meanwhile, Chibi just getting easily picked up by TFG here with the ultimate Shadow Strike. And they're going for this tower, so tier 2 mid, tier 2 bottom, sorry, will drop. And a tower and another kill for MUFC. And they are really like a boa constrictor around DM2's neck here. They're going to move into the Roshan. They've got this map control they got. You can see this excellent offensive ward placement. They sort of secure this tier 2 top bot and put wards down so that they get vision of this area. And this is going to give them the easy Roshan. I don't think DM2 have any possible response to this. Drums is finished on Ken, but still fairly late. And I wonder what this Ring of Regen... I don't know, I feel like Vlad's is not a very good Lina item, but he's got a lot of the components for Vlad's in here.
Wait, Lina?
Luna, I mean.
Ring of Regen I feel like came from Tranquils
but he never
at the
made
beginning.
The Tranquils.
Yeah, he has the Bass too, which is, like, that's 2 Tranquils items that I guess he didn't really want to finish, but...
Regardless,
yeah, this is gonna be...
it's fine.
It might be a Vlad's, but... I really hope not.
He's had him for a while, but the problem here for DM2 is they don't have time to figure out if they want to go with Vlad's or something else, because this Bear is just going ham on this tower. They do have Fortify. They're trying not to make the same mistake again of using it too early, but they're going to have to use it sooner or later, because here we go. MUFC is on the high ground, 18 minutes. They are beating on this Rex. And Ken, oh man, he gets entangled. This Luna's taking so much damage. He does not have buyback, folks. He pops the drums just to get away. With this Bear still wailing away. This is the melee Rex. There's the fortify from DM2. It's going to slow it down a little bit. KS, he's still level 5. If only they had Purge for this bear, that would be something. He just walks in. He's using his body to try to protect his barracks, and unfortunately that's not going to be very effective at all. He gets picked off. Mega kill streak for Lone Druid. Chibi trying to come around the back, but this level 10 tempo assassin just isn't going to do very much here. He jumps in. Orchid immediately is the response. He takes gobs of damage, comes away, pops his magic wand. That'll keep him alive for a time. But MUFC, they can comfortably walk out here without any sort of issue. They've taken down the tier 3 tower, no problem. Vlad's is actually up, speaking of Vladimir, on the Spirit Bear. So it's getting quite a bit of lifesteal, frankly.
That's actually, with the amount of heals that it's getting from the Juggernaut Healing Ward as well, it's really tough just to even right-click the bear down. Spells obviously do less damage because of Demolish secondary passive. It's pretty ridiculous, actually, how much damage this bear does. This is also the no boots bear, because boots are for the weak.
The Battle Tank Bear. I love the Battle Tank Bear. Oh! Chibi trying to jump in, does decent damage to TFG, but unfortunately this bear... Oh, RP! That's a huge RP! He skewers back too, and damage coming out, but unfortunately, wow! They are just melting in response to this. The bear, the Blade Fury, Ling, all the damage coming out from MUFC is vastly too much for DM2 to deal with. Not even close in the end. The RP ends up being almost backfires because DM2 attempted to go in on the back of it, and oh man, the damage response from MUFC was dramatic.
That was a phenomenal RP, by the way. That was a 4-man RP.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculously good. There's just no follow-up on DM2. They didn't have any extra damage. TA doesn't have any gold. Never had any gold. Only hits for like 100 damage. That's weak, to say the least.
No, it's unimpressive. Absolutely.
And Luna's very much in the same boat.
Right. Alright.
And he actually just sells the ring region, so...
MUFC, they equalize with an excellent composition. The Juggernaut comes through, ends up being very, very useful. They draw the Trilane versus Trilane stage, but TFG wins mid. FCYY on the bottom lane just dominates, just is able to get all the farm in the world. He gets really, really big on this Lone Druid, and the push was something that DM2 were ill-equipped to handle. Raxes go down, heroes are entangled, and in the end, MUFC equalizes, and we go to a decisive Game 3 of this Netolic Raid Call Pro League Winners Bracket Final East Division. Stick with us, folks. Should be an exciting matchup to decide this series.